What are we doing to kids? We're creating environments for kids at school and at home in which they are using fewer and fewer of their senses, that they're down to a couple senses, staring at that screen, using their ears and mainly their eyes to allegedly go anywhere in the world through the internet. We're creating an environment in which I believe, by definition, they are less alive. What parent wants their child to be less alive? What teacher wants their students to be less alive? I spent a lot of time in the woods with my dog. My parents didn't know where I was, but my dog did. And I found something bigger there than my parents and their problems. I found something large. I have a bias from growing up to associate time spent in nature with happiness for a family and with health, particularly mental health. There's not very much research yet on autism, but I can't tell you how many parents have come up to me and said, you know, I read Last Child in the Woods. We have an autistic child or a child with Asperger's, and we started getting our child outdoors more, and there's been a change. I hear from teachers all the time. For years now, I've been hearing this. The troublemaker in my class, when I get the class outdoors into nature, the troublemaker becomes the leader. Not just well-behaved, the leader. I hear that over and over again. It raises a question. What are we doing to these kids by keeping them in the classroom all the time, in that cubicle, at that chair, taking test after test after test, canceling recess, canceling field trips, all with this theory we're going to make a better child if we do that to them. But what proportion of the huge increase in the number of kids that are taking stimulants, pharmaceuticals, drugs, for their behavior, what proportion of that huge increase might have something to do with the fact that we took nature away from kids in the first place? Nature experiences are in some ways just as important as anything else in a child's development, and they have a human right to that experience in nature. So, nature deficit disorder is a phrase that has caught on, and I didn't really expect that to happen, but it has. That's not a known medical diagnosis. Maybe it should be, but it's not now. I always point that out. What it is a language to use, a way to describe this feeling we've had for a long time about that disconnect from nature that those parents, even some kids, told me about beginning in the late 80s and early 90s. Some of the most recent research has certainly linked lack of nature in people's lives to such problems as vitamin D deficiency. Recess has been cut, physical education has been cut in US schools. What are we thinking? Let alone get the kids outdoors in a natural setting or taking them on a field trip to, you know, a state park. We're having those kids sit all day, and sitting is the new smoking, and guess what we're doing to them?